Hey guys, what is up? Dirtbike Red here, back with another commentary. Aren't you guys glad that I make commentaries once a month now instead of every few months like I used to? I am too! But do you know what can very easily take me out of that happy mood? Victim blaming. And based on that alone, this will be by far my most serious commentary to date. And this video was, unfortunately, made by one of my own subscribers. And to get this out of the way real quick, I don't care if you're subscribed to me or if I'm subscribed to you. If your video is, in my opinion, shitty, or you make an extremely offensive video like the video I'm about to commentate on, then I will call you out on it. With that said, let's begin the commentary, shall we?
Okay, before I go on any longer, I need to give out my thoughts on victim blaming. In my opinion, victim blaming depends all on the scenario. Depending on the scenario judges whether or not the victim is to blame or not. Like a celebrity taking new photos of themselves and a hacker goes and steals it and posts them on a forum website. You know what? The celebrity shouldn't have taken those photos if it didn't want to be posted online. So yes, victim blaming is correct in this case. Also, let's say you're a girl walking out late in the middle of the street wearing promiscuous clothing and a guy comes out and rapes you. For one, depending if you're wearing like a fucking skin-clad bikini or whatever out in the middle of the fucking day, yes, it can encourage the victims to rape you. And the fact that if you're walking alone out in the middle of the night in a shady neighborhood, then yes, you're also asking for it.
No, I did not edit this at all. You just heard Flippy say that women who dress provocatively are asking for it. He really just said that. You're not hearing things. With that out of the way, Flippy, you are wrong. That is not even close to what victim blaming is. Victim blaming occurs when the victim of a crime or any wrongful act is wrongfully, and I do put emphasis on wrongfully, held entirely or partially responsible for the harm that befell them that they could not avoid. It does not matter what the fucking scenario was. It does not matter what clothes they were wearing. It does not matter what street they walk on. It does not matter what time of day it is. No one, male or female, deserves to get raped, and it is never the victim's fault. Ever. So good job on giving the most inaccurate definition of victim blaming you can possibly imagine. And as for the celebrity nude photo example you gave, I will admit that it would be wiser to use a camera that's not connected to the internet so there's a lower chance of these photos getting leaked, but the fact of the matter still remains. If someone wants to take nude photos of themselves, then they have every right to do that without having to deal with any complicated situations whatsoever. And if these photos were not meant to go public in the first place, then there's no reason why that person's privacy should be invaded.
But those are just a couple of examples where victim blaming is the cause. But not every incident is victim blaming, like getting your bank account or credit card hacked or stolen, because there's no way for you to prevent that.
And wait, you think that people do have control over whether or not they get raped? What if the rape victim had no way of being able to get away from the predator? How in the actual fuck do you expect the victim to have any control over whether or not they get raped? Rape is something that you have no control over in the same way that getting your bank account or credit card hacked or stolen is something that you have no control over, like you said.
Common blameworthy offenses include going out at night, taking nude photos, wearing tight clothing, short skirts, being promiscuous, getting drunk. Notice anything about that list? Yeah, all those things that people claim are asking for it are actually rights and freedoms that every human being is entitled to. And when I say human, I do include women in that group.
Get it? Because I'm a fucking feminist and I have to act like women are the outcasts among males. Give me a fucking break. Why was there a need to point that out specifically?
Simple, because women are not equal to men socially. But that is looking past the fact that she was addressing both genders and not just women. Please stop putting words into her mouth, thank you.
This is how bizarre victim blaming sounds to me. Your identity was stolen? Why were you using a credit card? If you had used cash, this never would have happened. They punched you in the face? Where was your protective helmet? You were mugged? What were you wearing? A suit?
Okay, this dumb broad just gave some of the worst examples for victim blaming. Those incidents are not the cause of victim blaming because they are unavoidable and very mundane. It's something that can occur but we have no control over it. Sure, we can try and prevent it, like saying, avoiding getting punched in the face, I don't know, you just could dodge out of the way, but you don't need to say something as smug as where was your protective headgear. Also that part where you were getting mugged and wearing a suit, where the hell were you where there were muggers involved? Second of all, why were you wearing a suit? And third of all, that could easily have been changed to like wearing skin-clad bikini and being rich. You're just asking to get mugged.
Why did you feel the need to change the scenario from a guy wearing a suit to a woman wearing a bikini specifically, when that's not even relevant to the fucking scenario? And how in the hell does whether or not you get mugged depend on your gender or appearance?
Okay, enough bad acting. Do you get my drift?
No, I don't, because you haven't given any good reasons as to why victim blaming is bad.
Okay, then allow me to tell you why victim blaming is horrible and why there should be no victim blaming whatsoever. Victim blaming is bad because it makes it to where the predator doesn't have to take accountability for what he or she did. It makes it to where the victim is unfairly punished for something that happened to him or her. And it makes it to where it encourages more crime, not just rape, but any and every crime you could possibly imagine, and it makes it to where the actual crime is never solved. And again, this doesn't go for just rape. This goes for any and every crime you could possibly imagine, including getting your credit card or bank account hacked or stolen, which you essentially said was bad. And if that's not a good enough reason as to why victim blaming is bad, then I honestly don't know what is.
The problem with blaming the victim is that it's the predator that caused the crime, not the victim or their clothing or their pictures.
Bullshit!
No, not bullshit. The predator is the person that made the choice to rape someone, to kill someone, to rob someone, etc., not the victim. The predator is the one that committed the act, not the victim. The predator is the one that has to take accountability for the act he or she committed, not the victim. The predator is the one that should be punished for the crime he or she committed, not the victim. It is always 100% the predator's fault. It is never the victim's fault. Ever.
Number 2, this is how, instead of preventing crime, victim blaming actually invites more crime. Number 3, victim blaming makes it hard for justice to be served. Those real life attitudes are in Congress, they're in police forces, they're splattered across the media.
Give me an example. No, seriously, give me an example. You seem to spout your mouth off like you know everything, but you don't even bother to give us an example on how these people in Congress and police force so-called have this type of judgment.
She doesn't have to give examples. You want to know why? Because unless you've been living under some godforsaken rock, or you willingly choose not to pay any attention to your history class, then you should know that there have been thousands of cases throughout history where there have been corrupt politicians and corrupt police officers. The most recent example is Ferguson, Missouri. Do I even have to go into detail with that one? No, I don't, since it's been all over the media, it's still currently an ongoing problem, and there's no way that you don't know about Ferguson unless you've been living under some godforsaken rock, or you willingly choose not to pay attention to the subject in hand.
In the context of sex crimes, victim blaming often fuels misogyny. Sometimes I hear people talk about how she needs to face the consequences for her actions. In this bizarre mindset, violation is framed as a deserved punishment, usually for a woman who's stepped out of line. This way, victim blaming creates this never-ending list of rules that women are supposed to abide by in order to have their humanity respected. I mean, shit, we're taught from the time that we're little girls to fear men's attacks if we do something wrong. Like, how sick is that? And why are we so quick to defend men's freedom, including the freedom to commit crimes, while handing women a long list of restrictions on our everyday lives?
Because women do not know any better. And I'm dead fucking serious when I say that. I see girls in my high school that walk around wearing the shortest fucking skirts imaginable and act all blinged out like they're fucking Lady Gaga or something. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're walking down the middle of the fucking night one day and they get raped all of a sudden. Hey, get the fucking abortion and get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, I have a few questions, and you're not gonna like what I have to ask, but these are honest questions. Have you actually interacted with anyone outside of your own gender aside from your family? And if so, do you have trouble interacting with females? And if not, why do you hate females so fucking much? And why does it matter to you how women dress? How is what women choose to dress like any of your goddamn business? Not only is that superficial and shallow, but it doesn't even represent who women are as people. And for all you know, one of your female classmates that you claim dresses provocatively could actually be a hell of a lot smarter than you. But you want to know that since, based on how you view women in general, you willingly choose not to interact with any of your female classmates.
When we live in this culture that's hell-bent on blaming the victim, it should come as no surprise that the victims blame themselves too. Men and children are raped as well. Were they really asking for it by dressing slutty?
Ah, so she's gonna pull this bullshit, I see. Look, when children are raped, it's most likely due to pieces of shit parents.
Which is implying that parents have complete control over that, which they don't unless the parents themselves are the ones raping their children, which would be extremely unlikely. Way to not do any research to confirm your claim to be true or false before making your video.
And second of all, men getting raped is easily a double standard. Whether it's from a guy or a girl, how can a guy really act out of place or dress slutty in order to get himself raped?
First of all, cross-dressing males. You really have been living under one godforsaken rock, haven't you? Second, you don't have to wear skimpy clothes to get raped. That is superficial and shallow. Third, males can in fact get raped. There have been countless reports on male rape. It's just not as common as female rape. Fourth, what the hell does acting out of place have anything to do with getting raped? The reason people get raped is because the predator, keyword being the predator and not the victim, chooses to either resort to extreme measures or because the predator in question is mentally or psychologically unstable. And that's the end of the video. Overall, this is quite possibly the worst commentary ever made. Period. Sure, there's a bunch of commentators that turn out to be huge fucking assholes, but at least they never said or did anything that was truly offensive like Flippy did here. I don't think I've ever seen a commentary that was even remotely close to being as offensive as this commentary. Flippy, I highly suggest that you rethink your stance on not just victim blaming, but also your view on women in general. And if all the points I brought up are not good enough reasons as to why you need to rethink your stance on victim blaming and women in general, then I honestly don't know what would be.